When this organisation started over 25 years ago with Tony Plews, it was called Leadership Development. That was actually a reflection of its New Zealand name, but it actually is part of a bigger network called Overseas Council. And so Overseas Council represents agencies in America and Canada and New Zealand and Australia and a few other places. It wasn't until the early 2000s that Langham came on the scene, and there was a direct link with Paul Windsor, who was involved with Langham preaching at that stage. And so this organisation, Leadership Development, took on Langham, and so we became LeaDev-Langham. It's quite a mouthful, isn't it? And people find it very difficult to get their tongues around it. And so when they're from the front announcing who we are, or they're opening up a piece of, collateral advertising about us, the question often comes, well, who are you? What do you really do? From the pulpits, many of the pastors of the churches that I go to couldn't say the name properly. They would get it all mixed up. And so we've been working through employing some people to help us to work with the idea of changing that name, and we've been through a bit of a process. We actually hired a brand agency to work with us to find a new name, and to do that required quite a few interviews. So we've done some work with our donors and key stakeholders, and also with our staff. So everyone's had a bit of input into that, and we feel that the process has been great, and we've come up with what we think is a very important name that reflects some of the partnerships that we're involved in terms of Overseas Council and Langham, but not only that, the partner schools that we have, and there could be some more partners that we engage with as we look and move forward and move into our vision for the future. Well, the new name is Beacon Partnerships. And firstly, we came to the name Beacon as opposed to a whole lot of other names. We won't go into details. But that particular name represents something that we want to be. And of course, Jesus talked about himself as being the light of the world. And we are called to be lights. In a sense, we are beacons. And we'd been talking quite a bit in our fundraising about the concept of hope. And we are not just beacons of light, we're beacons of hope. And we can, through our donor base, through our partners, bring hope to a world that desperately needs it. And so the beacon word is a great word, and we felt we needed to add the word partnerships to this, because we're not only, we bring things from the past that we don't want to remove. Leadership Development, Overseas Council are part of that, and Langham, and they're still intricately part of who we are as Beacon Partnerships. But we are partnerships, not partnership. And that leaves room for further growth in other areas. And over the following months and years, we're going to hear more about those added things in terms of partnerships, which I believe are very exciting. The word and imagery that we've chosen gives a lovely set of graphics. As we're looking outwards, and we're a beam of light going out there, shining the light on a path, facilitating the journey, helping people to come to grips with their path, their journey in life, their work and mission with God. And so it's rather exciting. This is about partnerships. We can't do this thing on our own. We can't grow Christian leaders on our own. In fact, we're facilitating donors in New Zealand to have a personal connection and vibrancy with a group of people in the majority world who want to be trained, who want to become leaders, whom God is preparing to serve the church and to bring about transformation, to make an impact. And so partnerships is key. From the person at the other end, those who are receiving help from us, right through to people in New Zealand being part of that, it's a partnership together. Partnerships with an S. And that's not just about being Bible colleges or just being a donor. It could be some sort of enterprise. It's SOL teachers, it's people helping with administration, it's governance training, it's all of those things. And so Beacon Partnerships is all about bringing those things together so that God's work, God's mission is enabled to be completed in and around the world in the places where it's most needed.